We need to be focused on staying the preeminent nation in the world, not this sort of sicking all these IRS agents on small businesses, because essentially that's what it was. And that's the way it was sold to the American public, is somehow they're going to make the rich, who are already paying far more than their so-called fair share, pay even more, was always preposterous.
Another day, another Fox News stooge protecting the ultra-wealthy ruling class and their ability to siphon as much wealth from our pockets into theirs as possible. Now, if Charles Payne here looks familiar, it's because he did the exact same thing just days ago on the same network.
This weird robber baron oligarch thing that they're fantasizing about, and bureaucrats, it just blows my mind. You know, when the so-called robber barons came in, for the 100 years before that, wages were like this. After this, they went like that for 100 years. Oh, when the robber barons came in, life expectancy in America was like this. All of a sudden, it went like this. I mean, there was a positive impact. We created the modern world, and it was the oligarchs who drove that. The Biden administration wanted to handcuff these folks, wanted to slow them down, wanted to control them, wanted to break them up. You know, they took a European approach to this. Well, ask yourself.
Even wanted to tell them to censor what the information on their sites.
They control it.
The message from the ruling class to the American public, broadcast loud and clear through Fox News, is simple. We're in control, and we're not going anywhere without a fight to the death. So cave to our demands or face the consequences, much like how the Democratic Party establishment holds the progressive vote hostage by refusing to adopt our policy positions. The ruling class holds our entire country hostage. Propaganda like this from Charles Payne is critical in convincing so many people to vote against their own economic interest.
Well, it's interesting that when we did his rallies, like the people behind him were like coal miners and like first responders and construction workers. And suddenly he gets elected president. Like, they can't really find any coal miners up there on the dais. You can't really find any first responders, but the most powerful billionaires are up there. The interests of these folks are aligned with the interests of Donald Trump. And that they were working very hard to obscure that before. But I think that it's useful for everyone to see it for what it is. And I don't think that image of those guys standing there in line at that inauguration is going to age very well. In fact, I feel almost certain it won't.
Chris Hayes nailed it with his analysis of Billionaires Row at Trump's inauguration. These oligarchs weren't just in attendance. They were center stage, front and center, flaunting their power and control over our government. Hayes is absolutely right. Looking back, these images won't age well. But the bigger question is, will it even matter? By the time people wake up to the reality of this plutocracy, will the damage already be too far gone to fix?
You campaigned on lowering prices for consumers. We've seen all of these executive orders. Which one lowers prices?
We have done a lot, and there have been a number of executive orders that have caused already jobs to start coming back into our country, which is a core part of lowering prices. More capital investment, more job creation in our economy is one of the things that's going to drive down prices for all consumers, but also raise wages so that people can afford to buy the things that they need. If you look at our slate of executive orders, no, Margaret, prices are going to come down, but it's going to take a little bit of time, right?
Though Margaret Brennan could have gone even harder in her interview with J.D. Vance, the central takeaway is still there. J.D. didn't name a single executive order because doing so would open Trump up to future scrutiny when those orders inevitably fail. This isn't about policy or solutions, it's about marketing. That's all. Vance and Trump want to trick their base into believing they're lowering costs while ensuring their oligarch friends stay protected. It's why the richest and most powerful people in the world are given prime airtime to spread messages like this.
I think the wrong part is that the bottom 30% didn't do better, not that the top 0.1% did so well.
Why not? What's wrong with saying that?
Because they may be unrelated.
People argue, is it inflationary and non-inflationary? I would put in perspective, if it's a little inflationary, but it's good for national security, so be it. I mean, get over it. National security trumps a little bit more inflation. But I think the question is how they get used.
J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, who has a net worth of about $2.8 billion, has a simple message for you. Suck it up. If your family suffers under Trump's oligarch-friendly economic agenda, that's your problem, not his. Meanwhile, he's making billions off the very policies that hurt working families.
For us as companies, deregulation will help us hopefully there's a reduction of taxes, and as well that would help us, operate more efficiently in the U.S. And we believe that deregulation will help us be a more efficient company, and with that we can reinvest that money into other parts of the business.
PepsiCo CEO Roman LaGuarta, worth a measly $50 million compared to Diamond, is overjoyed about Trump's tax cuts and deregulation. Why wouldn't he be? His wealth will grow exponentially while consumers like us will foot the bill.
I still expect, although I don't know what, and this is over a long period of time, this is not a like next year or, the year after that kind of thing, but over a long period of time, I still expect that there will be some change required to the social contract, given how powerful we expect this technology to be. I'm not a believer that there won't be any jobs. I think we always find new things to do, but I do think like the whole structure of society itself will be up for some degree of debate and reconfiguration.
The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. It's not people that are looking at those cameras, it's AI that's looking at the camera. No, you can't do this. Same thing, we have drones. If there's something going on in a shopping center, and I'll stop, a drone goes out there, get there way faster than a police car. There's no reason for, by the way, high-speed chases. You shouldn't have high-speed chases between cars. You just have a drone follow the car. I mean, it's very, very simple. And the new generation of autonomous drones.
Then there's a whole new level of terrifying. The tech oligarchs, Sam Altman, Larry Ellison, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and their ilk. They want to shape the country and their image, where they control everything and we, the average Americans, are at their mercy. If these tech psychopaths get exactly what they want from Trump and his allies, the result will be catastrophic. Picture a country where billionaires dictate not only the economy, but also the rules of democracy itself. Public resources privatized, workers' rights gone, free speech out of here. What does it mean for the rest of us? Endless exploitation. If we don't wake up and fight back, we're looking at a future where the American dream is reserved for the ultra-rich. The rest of us will be left fighting over the scraps.